Hello, Creeper.
So when are you going to debate masturbatory terrorism? When's that happening?
I don't know. I'm not going to debate anything, okay? That's not like why I'm like here. So Creeper. Do you want to talk about what happened with you and like the people today?
My baseness? Yeah, it was based.
Okay, so Creeper. I understand you're like probably pretty like I'm guessing like the privacy complaint and fat jokes were like pretty hurtful, right, to you. I'm guessing that's why like you're pretty upset, right? And like that's like justified, I think, right? I've like told them off several times to that. But like, didn't you start a fight with them on Twitter?
All I did was make a clown joke.
Yeah, but like if I made that type of joke to Bunk, right, it would be completely justified for like Bunk to like and their people to like dogpile me, and I would like expect that, right? Because like I've like gone out of my way to like make fun of them on Twitter, right? If you're gonna do that, then you're like instigating a conflict with them, right?
I don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I think clown jokes are like okay.
You know what? And some people, okay, think certain other jokes are okay, but I have on your behalf said they're not okay before, right? So what I'm saying is when people have instigated conflict with you, I haven't gone, oh, they're right. I've gone, oh, okay, you're right, because those people have instigated conflicts with you, right? So if you instigate conflicts with someone, you're gonna get some shit thrown back. I don't think it's okay. I think they went too far. I definitely think they went over the line. But I think like you did instigate a conflict with those people, right? And then they all got banned from the server because when you were the one who instigated a conflict, it was fine for you.
Why do you think they got banned from the server?
I think they got banned from the server one. Because, like, they were fighting with you, they kept on, like, pinging you, right? And other people, right? Which is, like, annoying, I agree. But,
they got banned for repeated actions of constantly spamming.
Alright, that's fine. Was that explained to them?
It's explained in the mod reasoning for banning thing.
Sure, but there are like different extremes of how that's regulated in the server. When I was mod, that was the case. No, when other people has been mod, that has been the case, right? Like if Wrong was doing that, he's probably not going to get banned, right?
I'm specifically only mod to deal with spamming. That's the only thing I've been given control over.
To deal with spamming.
Yes. Specifically of Cammy's crew.
Okay, so just so I'm aware, you've been hired. Someone who is probably particularly biased against a certain group of people has been hired to regulate that certain group of people. Just so I'm like pretty aware. That's what you're telling me right now.
I mean, yeah, you have a bias towards them where you defended them in front of Bunk even though you had no idea what you were talking about, but of course.
Okay, hold on.
Continue to defend them.
Hold on. I have a bias towards KFC people, Bonk server people, including Bonk, right? They accuse me, just so you know, of having a bias towards Bonk. Bonk's people accuse me of having a bias towards them, right? I think the reason why I'm one of the most unpopular people, okay,
is because you can't make your own like ideas. You say stuff privately while you at the same time say stuff publicly. That's
wait,
probably
no,
why people don't.
no.
Yes, that you do that.
No, that's not true.
In the Keffel stuff, when you threw a hissy fit because it was recorded in a server that's allowed to be recorded, and you were mad because you were saying things publicly about Keffels, but you were saying things privately, quote unquote, and you didn't want those views to be shown.
Do you believe people have times and places where they should be able to vent about people without that being public? Or do you believe like any statement you ever make should always be public?
I don't think you should debate and get mad when that's
how else do you talk to certain people without there being a debate, right? Like in my ordinary life that would be true.
Well, there's actually a really simple thing. You don't go into a debate server. You don't do that.
No, that is not just a debate server. Okay, number one. That's also a server which happens to have like some pretty close people that I'm close to. That I used to be like pretty confident like wouldn't leak my shit, right? So like it wasn't only a debate server. Originally it wasn't a debate server, it was just a place where like politics people hanged out, right? It developed one over time. But obviously when I was saying that I was talking to people that I thought I could really trust, right? Creeper, you don't want every opinion you have public. I'm certain of this, right? I'm like
Well,
so
actually,
certain
no.
of this,
I'm
right?
actually, I am fine with people knowing my opinions.
Everyone and everything.
I can't think of something that I wouldn't give my opinion on.
I think it's perfectly fine in certain circumstances to have public opinions and private opinions. Okay?
I just think it's a little two-faced.
I don't think it's two-faced. Okay? I think, right, there are opinions we have of people that we don't want public because it'll cause conflict. Okay? Not every conflict is good. Let's say I believe that, like, I don't believe. Let's say I was believe that Moxie just has an annoying voice. Moxie can't help that voice is annoying. Okay? Is that really an opinion that should even be public? Probably not. It's just like a private opinion that I have that maybe I'm venting to a friend about, right? Doesn't mean it should be public.
I think it's pretty lame to not give your opinions publicly, but whatever.
What could... Yes, it's not lame when one, okay, I'm not going to be able to have that and not much influence to change things, and two, I would cause conflict without there ever being like a benefit to the conflict I'd be causing.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah. See, that's like such a cope. That's like what you do. Like every time you get stuck on a point, you're like, okay, cool, because you don't have a response to that position.
No, I'm just not paying too much attention. I'm playing a game. So wait, what's the position again?
The position is that if the criticism was to cause conflict and wouldn't lead to a beneficial result, then there's no utility in it being public.
Well, wait, but my issue is, that what took place in a server. It's okay to record stuff in.
I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that because 99% of conversations don't get recorded in that server, right? So I actually didn't even know it was okay to record in that server. I thought it wasn't okay to record in that server.
Bunk at that
was my assumption.
Multiple times in that server.
What'd you say?
Bunk at that point has streamed multiple times in that server.
Bunk has not streamed multiple in the KFC server. That's just not true. Bunk has not streamed multiple times in that server.
Wait, where do you think the debates with Where do you think the debates? What's his face? What was his name?
With Synth? You mean Synth?
No, not Synth. That's.
The neo-Nazi.
Sample example.
Okay. Hold on. That conversation was recorded before the sample example conversation.
Well, I know. I'm just. You just said that they didn't do it at all.
No, sorry, there was no precedent for recording a conversation at that point. So if there's no precedent and it's not known that you're allowed to record conversations in that server, then obviously I would think that I'm having a private conversation, right? I'm pretty sure it was also in a locked chat that I was having the conversation in.
Let's see. We had that conversation with Simp there. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's been made into a video. But no, Bunks, I've seen Bunk stream many times. I was even in one of the streams.
No, Bunk has not streamed there. At that point, Bunk hadn't streamed in the KFC.
I found one example.
Sure, hit me. What is it?
The Simp discussion on immigration. I'm pretty sure that happened.
No, that didn't. That happened in Bunk server.
Hello. How are y'all doing? How's everyone doing?
I'm fairly sure this did happen in the KFC server, just by the fact that it's in the Minecraft world and we usually convene in that server.
Was this in the Minecraft thing? Because wouldn't you have convened in, if that was the Minecraft thing, wouldn't you have convened in like that big Minecraft server?
No, because most of us didn't have privileges to VC, so we would do it in the KFC server.
Alright, well, cool. Okay, so my defense of that would be 1, I wasn't there for that conversation. 2, I didn't know that conversation happened in the KFC server. So as far as I was aware, I didn't know there was a precedent for recording calls in that PC, right? So as far as I'm aware, which is all I can do, as far as I'm aware, I didn't know you were allowed to record in that server, number 1, and number 2, I didn't know that there'd already been a precedent set for recording in that server. you're asking me to be aware of something that I wasn't. You're asking me that I should have been aware of something that I wasn't, right? Just so you know, I've had deep like conversations with Synth about my mental health, about my private life, about my family, right? So obviously, if I thought that was a server that got massively recorded, I wouldn't have had those conversations, right?
If you're going to
I think it's
if you're going to have conversations like that, you might want to do that in like just private VCs.
Okay, so true, I would agree, but I'm going to have that conversation in a place where I was certain that there wasn't recordings taking place. Okay, that's what I thought, right? Now I think it's morally wrong. I think you break someone's consent, all right? When you record them, okay, without their like consent, I think you've broken that person's consent, and I think that leads to a situation, right, in which a lot of the time conflicts don't get resolved because I don't know if you know, most people don't want conflicts resolved on a live stream, right? Because when people have conflicts on a live stream, their thing is number one, to protect their reputation at all costs. So they're never going to give any ground. So it's very unproductive for like all conflicts to be recorded, right? In fact, it's better when they're not recorded, okay? Because people tend to like give a little bit more then, right? People tend to like give a little bit more of give and take, and things tend to get resolved because people don't think that their reputations are on the line. There's a lot of negative consequences that come to like recording calls and people not knowing that they're being recorded.
Wait, this all came because like you didn't want, you had like a public and private position on Keffals. Like I
obviously my publicly, I'm willing to say this now because fuck it, okay? Publicly, I got a lot of like followers from Keffals community, right? The goal, okay, was to move to have an influence in her community to move her towards better positions where she would be a more effective advocate of trans issues. Okay, that was the goal. All right. Now, there are a lot of issues I have with Keffals, but if I say them in the most brash way possible, in the most brutal way possible, then people are not going to listen to me because you just sound like a hater. Like in the same way that if someone comes into the Bunk server and they're just like, oh my gosh, Bunk did this wrong, like in a very brash way, Bunk's not going to listen to them. They're going to be like, that person's just a hater. That person just probably has always hated Bunk. And they're going to like move on.
Like, right? You bring out your points, like that.
No, maybe with Bunk that's true, but not. I don't think with their community as a whole that's true. I think communities tend to be pretty defensive of their content creators, right? And so like it works better to like move them towards positions gently, right? With a goal. And so that's the idea of a public and private position. Not every position you have should be like public. I think that's a ridiculous thing.
What is your stance on soup?
Depends on the soup.
I think soup's good, and that's a public position. I'm willing to like say
that's
that. Right?
Amazing, good based. I was gonna hate on you for that, but you gave a good stance, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's okay. But yeah. Okay, Creeper. I think my positions are like very reasonable, right? I think I'm on this. I don't think I'm having a bunch of unreasonable positions, right?
I just don't.
I also trusted. I had a trust of Bunk that Bunk would not do that to me. Okay, and that was like the most hurtful thing is that I had a trust. There was a trust going into that I wasn't being recorded, right? And at the end, it wasn't even what I said. It was the idea that someone broke my like trust, right? And ever since that moment, just so you know, ever since that moment, right? I don't trust anyone anymore. Like I don't trust anyone, right?
Because you were recorded in the server that you're allowed to record.
I didn't know you were allowed to record in that server.
But don't trust
that doesn't make it like that kind of.
Yes, it does. No.
Your fault when you don't know that. You should make it.
If it says nowhere in the rules you're allowed to record in the server, if there's nothing saying about recording in that server, which there isn't, okay, then you don't expect to be recorded, right? Nobody, and I can guarantee for like probably 90% of people on Discord, they don't want to be recorded every single time they're having a conversation. They don't. I had a conversation with Haha Yeah today. I did not record that, right? I'm not going to record that.
Cool.
Right? So like.
Yeah. How did that go?
That actually went really well. But yeah.
Actually, ironically enough, it's probably best to record your calls when it comes to commentators because they're willing to be very two-faced about their opinions and what they say in private and publicly.
I think my aim wasn't to humiliate him or make fun of him. My aim was to get him to take down a video, right? So I think it wouldn't have been productive for me to. It was the Pie Girl one.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would have just not been productive, right? I don't think all these positions on it need to be public, right? That's not what I'm aiming for. I'm not aiming to like humiliate and cancel this person. I'm not aiming to damage this person's reputation.
Who says anything
just
about
want them to take-
canceling?
Huh?
Who says anything about canceling?
No. A lot of opinions can get you cancelled. This is like obviously true, right? Even opinions that are rational can get you cancelled. Right? Even opinions that are decent can get you cancelled a lot of the time. We live in like a cancel culture era where people are trying to like ban people for everything.
So you think that Keffel's thing with Bunk, you think that could get you cancelled?
I think it wasn't productive to my positions and to what I was trying to do.
That wasn't the question.
No, obviously I don't think it get me cancelled.